Hello and happy Thursday, everybody. We're getting closer and closer to the weekend and the weekend cool down to follow. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be something that we've all been craving after pretty hot and sweaty summer that we've had to endure so far. That cool down does continue today. Now, today is not going to be sweltering, still warm, still muggy, still humid. But this weekend is going to be a lot better. So I'll break down the weekend, but then also the rain chance, storm chance, and therefore first warn that we have on Saturday that we have to go through to get that weekend cool down, because cold front's going to be pushing that rain and storm chance through. But until then, we are going to stay mostly dry. So let's talk about your Thursday first and the rest of your day, what you can anticipate. Some of us have encountered some fog out there this morning, though I'm starting to see that fix itself and start to get better out there. Show you a look at current visibilities here momentarily. Some clouds also for some of us to start, but overall start to finish, today is a pretty typical August day, pretty typical August 21st. Not really any bells and whistles on today. Temperature right at 87 degrees at its highest. That's what we would expect for this time of year, but we still do have some humidity on hand, so that's going to make those temperatures feel like the 90s. That moisture and humidity is also causing for some patchy fog out there. Now, even just in the past 10 minutes, that's gotten significantly better. Over in Odessa, they had visibilities down less than 3 miles 10 minutes ago. Now that's already at 5 miles. So we're starting to mix up the atmosphere, dissolve out that fog, remedy that issue, and really, if you're moving around the metro this morning, you're not going to encounter fog except for maybe seeing it out on the horizon, or if you're headed more eastbound on I-70, you might encounter some fog out there once you reach Odessa and areas around that. So something to keep in mind. Not a bad idea to give yourself some extra space on the road if you haven't left for work, but know that within the next hour or so, that fog issue is really going to be gone. Stepping out the door, this is what you'll feel: 76 degrees, feeling like it too, but we do have a lot of humidity in the air. It's going to kind of hit you in the face as soon as you step outside if you haven't already. Winds coming in from the east at only about 5 miles per hour means that we're not getting a whole lot of movement in the air and a whole lot of relief from those warm, muggy feels and temperatures that we have going on out there. Winds are going to stay pretty steady throughout the day, so as we heat up and start feeling like the 90s in the early afternoon, it's going to still feel pretty sweaty out there, even though it technically is better than what we were having just about a week ago now. So looking ahead into the rest of the morning, we're going to warm up into the 80s by lunchtime, but then we'll stay in the 80s for the rest of the day. Not looking to push into the 90s in terms of what the thermometer is finding this afternoon. Just plenty of sunshine out there, a couple puffy clouds, and a light passing sprinkle not out of the question, but we elected to keep those rain chances off the board because if we even find that, it will only be for a select few of us. It will be very, very quick and difficult to come by. Not looking at any rain accumulations today. Through the afternoon, though, 87 degrees. You can see we reach it by about 3 p.m. Then we stay there for a couple hours, just kind of baking in that sun, baking in that humidity. That humidity is making things feel like the low 90s, even though we're reading area-wide in the 80s today. Now, Butler, Lacine, Garnett, you're pushing it. 89 degrees, but still technically staying in the 80s today. Area wide pretty much staying again where we should be for this time of year. Normal high for your August 21st is 87 degrees. Dry today outside of a quick passing sprinkle possible. Dry Friday, so kicking off the weekend on a drier note too. But then as we go into Saturday morning in particular, that's when we bring a 40% chance of rain back. Now that could start as early as around 11 p.m. Friday night, but then it looks to actually push through and bring a more significant rain chance early Saturday morning while we're sleeping and while some of us are starting to wake up in those earlier morning hours. Since we have that 40% chance of rain and storms on there, we do have a first warn in place for Saturday. That means that it could impact some of those morning plans or morning events. If you're trying to get out and about, even just to the grocery store, it's possible you find some rain then. But check out what happens on the other side of that rain chance. While Friday, warm, muggy, but fine. Saturday, we get slightly cooler. That's with some cloud cover and some rain-cooled air, but then also a cold front, which will then take us into the 70s by the time we reach Sunday, clearing us out of that cloud cover, clearing us out of those rain chances, and just pleasant fall-like feels that are about 10 degrees cooler than what we'll be starting off those weekend afternoons with. So It will be nice, but that first one is something that I want to spend a couple minutes on here to break down what we're seeing and what could still change. So, new first warn on Saturday came into effect yesterday afternoon. So, keep that in mind as you're making those morning plans, and that we have a morning cold front coming through. With the timing of that front, that could interrupt some of those plans and generate a rain chance right in the middle of them. I'll show you future track radar and the newest data we have here in a second, but it's not looking like a widespread washout, which you'll see here momentarily. Instead, just spotty rain and storms that are possible. Some heavier downpours still possible, lightning, thunder possible too, alongside some briefly gusty winds, especially in northwestern Missouri. Though by the time we reach the late afternoon, the evening, we really clear out those rain chances. We really clear out a lot of the cloud cover too, and it will just be nice out there. Look forward to Saturday night because it's going to be a good one. And then after we really clear that rain chance, Saturday morning, we're going to feel like fall. It's going to be great. Almost entirely through next week, or at least for the foreseeable future, we are going to be feeling much cooler than we would typically get for this time of year. As I mentioned, we have this rain and storm chance to clear first. Here's a snapshot of your Friday. About dinner time, you're getting home from work. Kids are home from school at this point. Cloudy for a lot of us, but rain not really looking to be an issue. Then, the later we go into the nighttime and overnight hours of Friday into Saturday, the more likely that rain chance gets. We could see, here comes that first warn, 12 a.m. Saturday morning, as this system tries to push in from Nebraska and Iowa, bringing down showers and thunderstorms into northeastern Kansas and northwestern Missouri. We could see that swooping down towards St. Joe and getting a bit more scattered as the morning goes on. So as the system pushes in, it's going to increase in coverage and likely intensity through the early morning hours. This is as we're trying to sleep, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., trying to reach the metro. Now, this is an early look at exact timeline. There's going to be some variation run to run of this model data through the rest of today and tomorrow as we iron out those details. But as of right now, looking to reach the metro in downtown Kansas City before sunrise, well before sunrise, but that rain lingers after sunrise, so it looks to be weaker, just scattered showers, sprinkles out there, but still some lingering thunderstorms possible where that storm system originated from and where it originally pushed through, which is northeast Kansas, northwestern Missouri. As we go through the rest of your Saturday morning, you're going to start to clear out those clouds, eventually clear out the rain chances, especially by the afternoon and evening. But know that when this system initially pushes in Friday night, it could pack a bit of a punch in terms of some gustier winds. That's going to be the main storm threat. If we even find storms that are on the stronger side, they'll just be windy out there. So we'll have to be watching for things such as downed limbs. I don't think that the wind's going to be strong enough to down whole large trees by any means, but downed branches, limbs, things like that. Maybe some brief power outages, stuff like that is what we're talking about late night Friday into early Saturday morning. So just 1 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center, barely covering many of us, but just know that I wouldn't be too surprised if this outline does shift every so often between now and Saturday as we continue to iron out that storm potential. Also, like I mentioned earlier, this is not looking to be a washout. Maybe a 1/4 of an inch where those heavier rainfall and heavier downpours set up. This goes through Saturday night, and you could see some of us barely getting any rain accumulation down towards our southernmost counties. You're the least likely to find rain this weekend. But after we get there, check out that temperature drop on the other side, reaching down into the mid 70s by your Monday. Going to be absolutely beautiful and a lot cooler and a lot more comfortable. And check out what the Climate Prediction Center does as we go into the very late portions of August. This pretty much takes us through the rest of the month, and after your 7-day forecast that you'll see here in a second, way below normal. We're included in that. Chicago's included in that too. A big chunk of the Midwest there looking to be much below normal for this time of year. So we really like to see that, especially after all those hot temperatures that we did have to go through not too long ago. So just know that cooler temperatures are coming. Relief is coming. We'll have a couple rain chances, Between them, that's predominantly Saturday morning. Then after that, we dry things out, waking up in the 50s for most days of next week and for the foreseeable future. Cool down on the way, but stay in tune for that first warn and that storm chance come in Saturday morning.
Welcome in on this Thursday morning. I'm Janae Hancock here with Taylor Johnson. Taylor, welcome to Thursday.
Welcome to Thursday. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Lord.
It is officially Friday Eve. We are almost there. If you are getting ready to go into your weekend, if Saturday officially kicks that off, but a lot of things to look forward to. I know you're looking forward to the cool down with weather. We just heard from Stevie.
Yes, less humidity. And then like last week, I went to the store and the sweaters are coming out and the jackets and all the stuff I love about
How do we feel
fall.
about that?
You know, it tracks. What I'm not feeling good about is going into CVS the other day and they have like the Halloween stuff out.
Okay. Can we talk about that
Let's
really
talk
fast
about
before
it.
we get into news headlines?
Let's
Because
do
I
it.
went into Hobby Lobby last weekend and they had Christmas stuff out.
What?
And I'm like, okay.
Can we get a turkey
We need
first?
We need to slow down just a tad. It's
too
going a little
much.
too fast for me.
Wow.
Yeah, so you talk about Halloween. I am seeing Halloween. I'm also seeing Christmas. So
Oh my gosh.
sooner or later, we're going to start seeing not 4th of July, but New Year's Eve stuff as well.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Another thing I'm trying to keep an eye out on, usually around this time is when Starbucks announces the pumpkin spice latte, but I haven't seen
I'm a
anything
fan.
yet.
Yeah, I think they're actually bringing it back. I think Nathan Brennan told me this. They're bringing it back sooner this year.
Okay.
So I want to say it's going to be later this month, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
Okay. Because it usually is in August, and I'm like, I haven't seen anything
Okay,
yet. So.
yeah, I'm a huge pumpkin spice
Me
person, so
too.
I'm looking forward to that. As far as the fall season, I am looking forward to that as well, but I know as soon as it gets here, I'm going to be looking for summertime. So I'm just going to enjoy this time.
Yeah.
And you know what, as we look ahead to the coming seasons, we do want to bring you your news headlines to kick off your Thursday. Missouri Republicans are looking to shake up who represents you in Washington, D.C. The State House is looking at plans for redistricting, and we want to make sure you know what this means for your vote. KCTV5's Morgan Rydell has more.
I'm Morgan Rydell. Discussions about congressional maps being redrawn across the country. Those conversations have made it right here to Missouri. Governor Mike Kehoe has even mentioned Representative Emanuel Cleaver's district in those conversations. He hasn't confirmed or denied if this will be happening here, but it's enough conversation to bring hundreds of residents to a town hall meeting, many of them voicing concerns over redistricting happening here in Missouri. There's even speculation a special session could be called this fall. Of course, none of this is official or confirmed by any state leaders, but they say they are taking a look at these plans and keeping their eye on Texas and California. We'll bring you any updates that we hear about these conversations.
And this talk about redistricting is very national right now. So former President Barack Obama, he's given his blessing to California Governor Gavin Newsom's redistricting map. He endorsed the map while speaking at a fundraiser for the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. Now, that's a group that works to fight gerrymandering. Obama says it would be his preference to not have political gerrymandering, but given the effort in Texas to approve new maps to turn 5 congressional seats Republican, that he supported California's effort. That map would do the opposite in the Golden State. Democrats there have said they will stand down if Texas does the same. Obama called California's stance a, quote, responsible approach.
Just weeks before his recall election, Jackson County Executive Frank White Jr. says he will not run for another term, unless he changes his mind. White made that mixed statement in a letter to county staff, and right now his term ends next year, but that could all change come next month. Voters could remove him from office in a special election that is set for September 30th.
The man accused of killing Wyandotte County Deputy Elijah Ming is returning to court today. Sean Harris is charged with capital murder. Ming died last month when he was responding to a domestic violence call in KCK. The Wyandotte County District Attorney says he will pursue the death penalty for Harris. His hearing is scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon.
Meta's nearly $1 billion data center in Kansas City is up and running. It will be the home to 100 new workers. The center is over by I-435 and I-69 or 169 highway in the Northland. Officials hope that the site will inspire future workers for Meta and provide grants to kids considering careers in STEM. I love that.
Yes. Well, this here you're going to love too. And it's a historic moment for us here at KCTV5 as we have just announced that our tower is going to be relit after 2 decades. We're more than excited for this relighting, but we want to explain to you all at home what this means for our city. KCTV5's Gabby Luma is at the tower off 31st and McGee.
KCTV5's Gabby Luma standing in front of the KCTV5 broadcast tower, which we just announced will be relit on September 18th. This is just in time for the 2026 FIFA World Cup when hundreds of thousands of people are expected to come visit us here. Such an iconic, legendary tower that I know all of us here at KCTV5 are more than excited for this, but we're also more than excited for you at home to finally see this lit up on the KC skyline.
Okay, Taylor, so I do want to talk about this because I am so very excited. I think we all feel that, like Gabby said here in the newsroom.
Absolutely. And especially because, not being a native Kansas Cityan, I've never seen it lit up. So
that's right.
This will be cool. And I've seen the tower before, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I didn't realize that it was our tower.
No, I am the exact same way because this is not too far away from my home, which was your previous home. And what Gabby said this morning that really got me was, I believe she said a whole generation has not seen this lit up.
Yeah.
And I know we're not from here, but to just really put that into perspective, that is amazing. So there is a lot of people on edge and very anticipating, I should say, this huge celebration come next month.
Yeah, and I want to say that she also shared this morning that this was probably one of the tallest structures at one point, even taller than the Eiffel Tower at one point in time as well. And I got to see that in person last summer.
Yeah.
So, and that was like breathtaking. So I can only imagine just seeing this at night amongst all the other buildings that we see lit up for different reasons. Like we just saw everything lit up orange for Taylor Swift, and then we see the red for the Chiefs. So I'm really excited to see this as part of the Kansas City skyline once again.
And again, it's all looking ahead to the World Cup come next year, 2026, right around this time. So, we will continue to bring you coverage on this. So you can head over to our website. We're going to do it big next month as we count down. You can head over to our website, kctv5.com, though, where this story is posted. You can hear from our general manager, Curtis Miles, as well as Mayor Quentin Lucas. Everyone all excited for this. But we do also want to bring you a safety alert. Turning to that story, if you happen happen to miss the morning show today, a safety alert regarding sports betting, as we're about to see a major ramp up in that here this year. If you plan to place a bet specifically for opening weekend of college football this weekend, you want to double check that you are using a legitimate site. The BBB expects scams to rise this year, so here's what they say that you need to be on the lookout for. Big promises around payouts, tempting ads without details, sweepstakes style games, and a payment through cryptocurrency. The BBB has received nearly 200 scam reports and more than 10,000 business complaints since 2022, and that number could increase if you are not cautious, especially as Missouri opens up sports betting come this December.
Yeah, that is important to be on the lookout for. All right, so let's talk a little bit about AI. So artificial intelligence, it can be a helpful tool for some businesses, but a Missouri restaurant says it's actually causing them headaches. The owner says that Google's AI tool has been serving up fake deals, frustrating them and their customers. Nathan Vickers, who used to be a KCTV5er, he has more for us.
In any good restaurant,
Alrighty, you guys can go ahead and follow me.
good old-fashioned customer service is an important ingredient.
There you guys go. Your server will be right with you.
Part of the special sauce for Eva Gannon and her family at Stefanina's in Wentzville.
It's been in my family for 25 years now.
That's why they've been concerned with a series of calls and comments from customers looking for deals
And we're like, what are you talking about?
that Google's AI overview serves up for their restaurant.
You buy a small pizza, you get the second pizza for $4. We've never offered that special.
Offers that simply don't exist.
It also tells you that we offer a large for the price of a small pizza. That's not true.
She says it's led to calls and confusion with customers.
It's coming back on us.
So much that they posted on Facebook asking patrons not to rely on AI.
We can't, as a small family business, honor a Google AI special.
Artificial intelligence is still evolving, and even Google admits it can make mistakes. That's why tech experts see it as a useful tool, but one that still requires a human component.
There's a big difference between using AI and working with AI.
Jonathan Hanahan is a Washington University professor who works with artificial intelligence. He says the intent behind a prompt can sometimes skew information.
It will sometimes take liberties to get you the result that you're looking for.
Google didn't respond to our messages, but a company guide cautions that AI can sometimes misunderstand things or even make them up, meaning you still have to fact check.
How are you asking prompts? How are you asking questions? The collective conversation and not just this like binary call and response expectation.
As for Stefanina's,
Just come to us for any information regarding us. And really, when it comes to any other company.
they're happy to answer questions the old-fashioned way.
Artificial intelligence, but we do have to throw it out there that we love to hear from Nathan
Yes, we
Vickers.
do.
Such a good guy.
Come
right
back,
there.
Nathan.
He is at KMOV now, not too far away from us here at KCTV5. Now, moving on to another story, a local group that has made it their mission to clean up the Blue River Trail is thankful to students who helped them clean it up. Rockhurst High School students remove an estimated, get this, Taylor, 500 tires dumped along the trail. The boys participated in this as part of their freshman service project. This is what the area looked like when KCTV5 first reported on the problem just earlier this month near the entrance to the Blue River Trail off Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. But that's just a silver of the mess. KCTV5's Betsy Webster toured another part of the river near Bannister Road.
Group of volunteers that has been clearing illegally dumped tires for more than 3 decades now took me out here to see the problem firsthand. And what you see down that ravine, that's just a sliver of it.
This is one of the sites that we cleaned up 4 months ago. It was totally cleaned up.
Jeff Bowman says he and his crew pulled out 300 plus tires at this very spot, but it never stops. How many did you guess are down there now?
I'm going to say around 100.
He volunteers with the Little Blue River Watershed Coalition. These volunteers used to yield 400 tires on a 22-mile stretch, but that number is growing. President Larry O'Donnell photographed this year's collection.
This year, on April 5th, we got 820, and on May 17th, come back to the same areas, and we got 1,000 tires.
Larry pointed out that last year the Mid-America Regional Council held a trash summit. He'd like to get city and county agencies to meet up with volunteers for a tire summit to discuss solutions. We're talking about anything ranging from enforcement to potential financial incentives to dispose of tires properly. In Kansas City, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Alrighty, and before we head into break, we have to bring you a feel-good story regarding food. Of course, we always have to touch on food.
Yes, we do. Would it be the live desk with us if we didn't?
And would it be an early morning if we didn't? The McDonald's is cutting the price of its combo meals. The company admits the menu has just gotten way too expensive.
That's true.
Some of the more popular meals will be reduced by 15%. McDonald's is also expanding its combo offerings to include a $5 breakfast deal and an $8 Big Mac and McNugget special.
How many nuggets? That's the question. Are we talking 4 nuggets?
10
Are we talking a 10 piece?
No, you know what they need to bring back? I remember this.
What?
What was it? Their dollar menu?
Yes.
And they have the
That
dollar
was the
fries,
hit.
the dollar sandwich,
The McChicken. And ice cream. You get 2 hash browns
The
for
cookies
$1.
were on there too. It was like 3 cookies for $1.
They're losing the recipes.
McDonald's, if you're going to do anything, you need to bring back that dollar menu.
No, for real. And you could like really rack up on it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what do they expect to happen? We literally go to fast food restaurants for convenience, and that means pricing as well. So
Yeah.
it's like if I'm going to spend $10 on a McDonald's meal, then I
Right.
can go somewhere else.
Right.
Like sit down in a restaurant.
And you know what? All these chain restaurants, they're competing right now, to your point. So it's like, if you guys really want to make some money and get your sales back up,
get that dollar menu.
just bring us into the conference room and we'll bring you the ideas. Hey, that dollar menu did something.
No, seriously.
Let's compare the money there. How
Oh my
much were
gosh.
you guys bringing in during that time period?
It's
compared to now.
a lot. And you know what? Wendy's, I think, has the best deal, even though it
Ooh,
went
the
up a
biggie
little
bag.
bit. Yes, or like the
Yes.
4 for $4 or whatever. Like, and you get so much with it.
Yeah.
That's what they need to be doing.
That's what they need. And you know what? Also, before we go into break, because we can talk about this all day.
We could.
But that is who's going to spend a lot of time there is going to be college students, high school
Yes.
students that have like off-campus lunch. I mean, they don't have the most money, so they're
No.
always looking for the best deals, and they will definitely spend $4, $8
every day
on things like
we
that.
know we were those girls.
We were those girls. And hey, there's a McDonald's down the street.
Yes, it
Neil
is.
Jones is a huge McDonald's advocate.
Do it for Neil.
Do it for Neil. Neil Jones. We'll definitely get his perspective next time he joins us here at the live desk. For now, we are going to take a quick break. And you know what, Taylor? When we come back, we have Bill's weekend picks.
All
He's going to break down
right.
everything you need to know as we head into the weekend if you're still looking for some weekend plans.
right, welcome back. It is Bill Hurlbrink and Taylor Johnson with you as another edition of Bill's Weekend Pick, something you do every single Thursday here at 10:30. And I got to say a special thank you to Taylor Johnson because she was about to walk away and made me do this all by myself. And I was like, no. You sit your butt down over there.
Put me on the spot
because
like
we
that,
are going
Bill.
to talk about all the good stuff happening around town this weekend. You don't have to prep for any of your other interviews. No. This next 7 minutes, you and I are hanging out here.
Let's do this,
So,
Bill.
all right, let's get going because we've got a lot of fun things happening this weekend. And I really am excited about, not that one, that's my face. It's about
Your face is
this
exciting.
right here. Why is it not playing? I don't know.
Are you trying to hit video or the website?
I'm trying to hit video here.
Oh, I don't know.
Uh-oh. We could be out of luck here for a
wait,
second.
look down.
I'm looking down.
Down there.
Oh.
There we go.
There
Technology,
it is.
y'all.
How about that? You know who that is, don't you?
Is that Louis Armstrong?
That is not Louis Armstrong.
Oh.
His name is Charlie Parker, and he was born next week 105 years ago in Kansas City, Kansas. And we're going to start with not maybe something that's happening this weekend, but something that's happening tonight. So there's a local jazz legend that lives here in Kansas City. His name's Bobby Watson. So he and the All-Stars Band are going to salute Charlie Parker tonight at the Jay McShann Pavilion down at the American Jazz Museum. That's down in the 18th and Vine District. It gets underway at 7:30 tonight, and this is just a celebration ahead of the big celebration that's starting next week because Charlie Parker, or Yardbird as he was known, was born August 29th. That's a week from... Why are we playing football stuff now? What is happening here?
I don't know.
You all are trying to sabotage me.
It's not true.
We're going to do this again. Here we go. That's Bobby Watson there on the right. They're down at the Charlie Parker Memorial down at 18th and Vine. So that's where the stage is at for tonight's event. It's starting at 7:30, but again, this is here to celebrate Charlie Parker as we get ready to celebrate his 105th birthday here in Kansas City. And Charlie Parker was born in KCK, as a matter of fact, not too far from where I went to high school at, down off of 8th and Oakland.
Nice.
So if you have the chance to go out tonight and see that, I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity for you to see it. And again, it's just the start of a big week of celebration of all things Charlie Parker here in Kansas City.
Yeah, who doesn't love good jazz, too? Jazz, history. I learned something new. Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Exactly. And I mean, there's so many amazing musicians here in Kansas City that get to that put on their showcase every single week here. So just for the chance for you to get out and hear them play, and again, in the tribute to one of Kansas City's jazz legends, again, starting tonight. And yeah, it's definitely not one that you don't want to miss for sure. So again, that's happening tonight. Also happening tonight, maybe jazz isn't your gig. Well, Taylor, how about this? Have you ever heard of the band Heart?
Maybe. What is? Give me a tune.
Okay, how about maybe they sing a song called Alone? Crazy on You.
This was
Barracuda.
the 1970s. You were groundbreaking because
see, our news desk knows Barracuda.
a rock
Shout out to
band
Julia.
Shout out to
led by
Julia.
two
So,
sisters.
Heart is going to be at
and
T-Mobile Center
you
tonight. Of course,
rocked
Ann
it
and
with
Nancy
electric
Wilson,
guitar.
the sister,
It's so
fronted
strange,
group,
even today,
just a powerhouse
there are such
vocal
anomalies
right there.
in many ways
Recently,
for
not I guess
rock
recently, one of their
bands to be
bigger songs
fronted.
that I can think
There's
of is when
like
they covered
you know,
Led
Cranky
Zeppelin's Stairway to
Brothers
Heaven
and
at the
lots of
Kennedy
rock
Center
bands
Honor
that
several years
front
back.
rock bands
It's one of
like,
my
you know,
favorite videos to
Oasis
watch
and,
on YouTube,
you
but
know, the
you can see
Kinks.
them right there. They
But
are going to be touring
women,
here to
you know,
Kansas City
sisters,
tonight. There
not
are tickets
really.
still available, about $60 a ticket once you factor in like all the processing fees or whatever
That's
it is
not
you have
bad
to go buy.
with
But
fees.
that's tonight, T-Mobile Center, Todd Rundgren opening up for them. Then, of course, coming up on Friday is the Chiefs.
Oh.
It is their one and only preseason game that's being played at Arrowhead. This is some video from their last training camp practice here last week. Of course, Chiefs and the Bears, 7:20 first kick. I think the gates in the parking lot are going to open at something like 2:50 in the afternoon. So if you're one of the big folks that love to get out there and tailgate, prime opportunity for you to do that. Go ahead and put in the PTO request or start feigning the cough here for this afternoon so you can call out of work tomorrow and get on over to Arrowhead. I think preseason games are great to go check out the team. It's not going to be as hot tomorrow as it has been here, of course, last week with all the humidity. We're seeing some of that dialed out of the air, which is going to be nice. So, again, preseason football happening on tomorrow night out at Arrowhead, and I'm sure you can still get some tickets available for those preseason matchups. Got any thoughts on the Chiefs this year, Taylor?
Well, I'm excited to be back in the city for Chiefs season. You know, I had to watch from a distance, and it was cool, but it's nothing like being here as it's happening, especially when it is a winning season, which has been a consistent thing over the last few years.
It's been nice to see over the last few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. So I'm excited to be back immersed in the kingdom. And like we were talking about last week, this is the one city I know where people are just like repping their city all year long. But it's like really heavy during Chiefs season. So I'm looking forward to it.
All the time. We'll make sure we're our red tomorrow.
Yes, we will be in red. I have one red dress left for the summer seasonal temps.
Okay.
So that's the one I'm going to go for, because I feel like, I might not be able to wear it
That's right.
again.
Because it's going to get cold here, because it's the Midwest, and that's what happens here as we get into like October and November.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, also this weekend is a great weekend for festivals. There's one happening in one of my favorite small town, downtown areas in Kansas City metropolitan area, and that is in downtown Parkville. They're having their Parkville Days this weekend. It runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if you want to go out there. All the information is listed on their website, parkvillemo.org. But again, a lot of family fun at this one, including the carnival. They've got live music from the Alley Cats, the Accidental Moguls, Jillian Risco, Casey Groove Therapy, and more. And again, a full list of everything happening is over on the website, parkvillemo.org, and you can see all this stuff going on. A lot of great fun for the entire family. And again, downtown Parkville is one of my favorite spots in the city. Got a lot of little great local stores there, some great restaurants. It's right down on the river. English Landing Park is there with trails that you can walk back and forth along the river, and just a great fun place to go. Have you been to downtown Parkville since you've been back, or even since you were here before?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
We should go there for lunch someday.
I have a lot to explore, and I saw on this itinerary here that they have helicopter rides.
Yeah, helicopter rides on the baseball field. It's like $50 or $60 a ride, cash only. Keep that in mind. So you got to bring that cash if you want to go up on a helicopter ride. So, but yeah, they have those at the carnival. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Just you get out there, goof off, have a good time.
Yeah.
Probably eat too much food and fried food and stuff, and I mean fried Twinkies, right?
That.
You can't beat it.
Down with that.
So that's happening again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Parkville days there. Also, if you want to cross the river or cross state line from Parkville, you run into the city of Leavenworth, and they have their arts festival on Saturday. It's their Arts in the Park. It's happening from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Stubby's Park. That's the one right off K7 as soon as you pass the stadium going into Leavenworth. It's on your right-hand side. It kind of sits down in the hole there, but they're going to have a juried art fair, an art contest, a lot of live shows, and even some immersive art activities. The theme for this year's production is Masterpiece, and I'm a big fan of their little logo here. It's kind of like the screen,
yeah.
But they've got some dude wearing headphones and a backwards baseball cap.
And the shades, and the very contemporary.
Yeah, I don't think that's an avant-garde piece there.
No, not at all.
So, but again, that's happening this weekend out at Leavenworth. We talked about their car show last week, and then this weekend they're having the Art Fest. So a lot of fun things happening in Leavenworth. If you haven't gotten over there recently, it's not the Leavenworth that it was back in the 80s and the 90s. So got to go check that one out. Also happening Saturday night. This is cool. Are you a big Indiana Jones fan?
I wouldn't say a big fan, but Indiana Jones is cool.
Indiana Jones, I think, is some of the best action-adventure movies ever made.
And Harrison Ford,
and Harrison Ford, yeah, even at 80, I mean,
yeah,
good-looking dude, right? So let's be honest. Again, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the best action-adventure movies ever created, and they're having it as their backyard movie at the Armour Screenland Theater in North Kansas City this Saturday. It's only $5 to get in, and they're screening, again, one of the best action-adventure movies of all time, where Harrison Ford beats up on the Nazis, and they get the Ark of the Covenant, and there's all sorts of fun stuff. This one may not be for the kids, because I put this on my Facebook page a while back, is how old should your kids be before they watch Raiders of the Ark for the first time? Because I'm not going to spoil it for you, Taylor, if you haven't seen it before. At the very end of that movie, there's a pretty iconic scene where some stuff happens. And I don't want to spoil it, but I'm not sure I'd let my 7 or 8-year-old watch it, even though I'm pretty sure that's how old I was when I watched it for the first time.
It was a different time.
It was a different time back then. Exactly right. But that's happening North Kansas City on Saturday night. A great opportunity to go watch a movie under the stars outside. And again, it's one of the best movies ever made.
Okay.
In this man's humble opinion, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I do have a question.
Okay.
So, and hopefully this isn't spoiling what you don't want to spoil. Is this the one with the big, like, the iconic scene where he's like running from the big rolling?
The boulder?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But that happens at the beginning of the movie.
Okay, so that's not what you were...
Yeah, that is not what I'm talking about at all.
Because that's like iconic.
Just think about candles.
Okay.
That's all I'll do you for that. All right, we're going to bookend Bill's weekend picks with some more Charlie Parker events that are taking place this weekend, because this is going to be a fantastic event. Again, this is Kansas City Jazz, where they spotlight Charlie Parker. This is happening at the Folly Theater on Saturday night, 7 o'clock. It's being hosted by Chuck Haddix, which, if you don't know, he used to host Fish Fry on the radio on Friday nights, which is just a staple of Kansas City radio back in the day. He's a great jazz historian. This is being put on by the one and only Lonnie McFadden here in Kansas City, one of the legends here as well, along with the Kansas City Jazz Orchestra. Charles Williams is the pianist for that group, one of the most amazing piano players I've ever seen play in my entire life. And again, they're playing tribute to Charlie Parker Saturday night at the Folly. If you want to go check out more about it, you can go to follytheater.org, get your tickets there and everything if you want to go check this one out. But again, this is going to be a fantastic event. Again, I think this is worth paying tribute to year round. And unfortunately, they were going to do a big centennial event for Charlie Parker back in 2020. But obviously with the pandemic and everything had to be set aside. So I know it's not 100th year for him, but we can go ahead and just shuffle it down the road a little bit, and we'll celebrate the 105th birthday of Charlie Parker here starting today, and that's going to run all the way through next week. And with plenty of events taking place across town, it's going to be a great time to go out and check it out.
Absolutely. And I mean, 105 is a milestone in my humble opinion. So I think it works.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to wrap it up for Bill's weekend picks here today. I want to appreciate everybody who checked that out. And of course, if you have an event taking place and you want us to talk about it, I'd love to hear all about it. Go to KCTV5.com. You can click on my face gently and send me an email, but I'd love to know what's going on in your world and what's happening, and we can talk about it here on Bill's Weekend Picks, something, again, we do every single Thursday at 10:30 here at KCTV5 on KCTV5 Plus. Now I got to go let Taylor go do her studying for her interview that she's got coming up. She told me what it's about. I'm not going to tell you because, again, it's a secret.
You got to make sure you watch.
You got to make sure you watch. That's called the Deep Tease. All right, we're going to be back here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you real soon.
After playing last season in Kansas City, the Jayhawks are back. Week 0 home opener in the new stadium here this weekend against Fresno State. And that's Saturday evening on the backside of that cold front, which honestly looks great. Thankfully, this was not last weekend when the temperatures were nasty out there. We have 82 at kickoff and 77 by the fourth quarter. That's a later evening game right around 5:30. So a great day in Lawrence. At this point, we think the rain will taper off later and shouldn't impact the game. Then you get to the Iowa State K-State game, except that one's not in Manhattan. It is in Dublin, Ireland. 67 at kickoff, 63 by the fourth quarter. Gloomy day there, very cool. And I decided to look into the Ireland weather a little bit more. And then, of course, Mizzou is off. So let's take a trip across the pond here and go to Ireland and talk about some of their climate normals for the year. These are high temperatures, their average high temperatures for each month. A little chilly in January and February, the 40s. 52 is their average high in March. And their warmest part of the year is June, July, and August. 65 to 68 is the average afternoon high there. So definitely a cool and gloomy day in Dublin. That is an outside stadium that's covered. So definitely going to be a nice change of pace for all the Kansans that are flying over to Europe. Lauren?
Oh, yeah. They'll have to break out the sweaters, Warren.
Yeah,
get that ready. Thank you. Well, Hurricane Erin is set to stay well offshore of the U.S. East Coast, but it is still turning up dangerous and deteriorating conditions. Rescuers saved more than a dozen people from rip currents at Wrightsville Beach on Tuesday, following about 60 rescues at the beach Monday as officials urge people to stay out of the water. This includes both the ocean and flooded roadways along the coast during high tide. Southern California fire crews are preparing as extreme heat this week will increase the risk of wildfires. LA County has helicopters and rough terrain rigs ready if fires erupt. A series of Southern California cities are forecast to reach triple digits. And the National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch for parts of the Los Angeles County Mountains and the Inland Empire. And we're learning this fire in Leawood was started by a lightning strike last night. This is near 119th and Cherokee Lane. 2 firefighters were hurt, and one of them was taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons.
Today, as promised, I'm talking about things that are happening over the weekend, and always am including Friday in with the weekend plans, especially if it comes later in the day. Does anybody have any guesses on what I'm going to be talking about? Well, that would be the Chiefs preseason home game. That's happening at 7:20 p.m. The good news is temperatures are pretty comfortable. We are in the upper 80s for tailgating. That will be that high temperature. I think we generally are going to be feeling around that, possibly feeling like the lower 90s, but otherwise, compared to where we have been, it's going to be near normal. Once we go to kickoff, temperatures are in the mid-80s. We then will have a light breeze as we go through the rest of the game. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s, and we'll be there as you are heading home from the game as well. So should be nice kind of early football season, late August weather when we talk about football weather. Now let's jump ahead to Saturday. Saturday, we've been talking about the Goo Goo Dolls being at Starlight, but I also want to talk about Parkville Days. That is happening on Saturday, and the parade will be at 10. Now, we do have the chance for some rain and storms possible in the morning hours, at least the first half of the day for Saturday. So keep that in mind if you're planning to go to the parade. Temperatures will be in the mid-70 degree range. If you're planning to go, I would say probably bring your umbrella, bring your rain gear just in case, and keep checking back with us in the forecast. By the time 1 o'clock rolls around, we are going to be in the lower 80s, and then 84 is where we're generally going to be situated. So mid-80s is our high temperature. We are going to be much cooler compared to where we have been, of course, as well. We continue on that downward trend of the heat and humidity here. But by the time 10 o'clock rolls around and that event starts to wrap up, we will see temperatures back into the mid-70s.
Alrighty, welcome back into the live desk. We do want to bring you some breaking news we just received into the KCTV5 newsroom regarding Jackson County Executive Frank White. He just announced that he was diagnosed with kidney cancer back in 2023 and underwent surgery to remove 1 kidney. Now, he did go on to say that he is now cancer-free, crediting early screening, excellent medical care, and the support of his wife, Teresa. Now, he went on with a statement saying, "Early detection saved my life," White said. "I share my story to encourage others to get screened and to remind us of what truly matters, family and health." Now, White said that the experience influenced his decision not to seek re-election when his current term ends in 2026. He says, quote, "This job has been one of the greatest honors of my life, But after my diagnosis, I knew I wanted more time with my wife, Teresa, my children, and my grandchildren. Again, this news just coming into the KCTV5 newsroom. We will have it posted on our website, kctv5news.com, in just a minute. So be sure to have the KCTV5 News app as well. But again, we will continue to follow this story. Jackson County Executive Frank White Jr. announcing that he was diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2023. Taylor, let's move on with our news headlines.
All right, we're going to turn to some national news now. The Menendez brothers behind bars for more than 30 years. This is a story that has been around for a long time. Well, they could soon earn their freedom. Eric Menendez will appear before California's parole board today. He, along with his brother Lyle, was convicted of murdering their parents in 1989. They were both sentenced to life in prison with no parole, but they were resentenced to 50 years to life earlier this year with possibility of parole. The parole board will hear from family members, defense attorneys, and the DA's office. Even if parole is granted, it still has to go through an internal review board and be approved by California Governor Gavin Newsom.
I know that's a case that has been closely watched. There are so many documentaries. Have you watched any of the documentaries?
I have not watched any of them, but I am familiar with the story.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. But I know that has gone viral on social media especially. Now, moving on with our news headlines, more than 750 current and former staffers at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they have sent a message to HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as well as Congress. In the letter, they urge Kennedy to, quote, stop spreading inaccurate health information. It comes after a gunman fired hundreds of rounds at the Atlanta headquarters of the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention on August 8th. The letter makes it a point that the shooting happened as mistrust in public institutions is growing. It states that it is, quote, driven by politicized rhetoric that has turned public health professionals from trusted experts into targets of villainization and now violence.
All right, and let's get to today's top health stories. The health impact when we read less, and a warning about a mental health crisis among teens. Here's Michael George.
A majority of teens with depression in the U.S. aren't receiving treatment. A University of Tennessee study found only 47% of adolescents aged 12 to 17 who had a major depressive episode say they got any kind of treatment. Black teens and teens living in rural areas had the lowest levels of mental health treatment. Eating more omega fatty acids could protect women against Alzheimer's disease. A King's College London study found women with Alzheimer's had lower levels of omega fatty acids than healthy women. Researchers say women should make sure they eat enough omega fatty acids, either through fatty fish or supplements. The study also noted men didn't seem to get the same benefit. And experts say Americans are reading drastically less than they used to, and it's bad for our education and our health. A University of Florida study found daily reading for pleasure has dropped 40% over the last 20 years, and could be due to the rise of digital media, less leisure time, and less access to books and libraries. Researchers say reading for pleasure supports mental health, empathy, creativity, and lifelong learning. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
It's interesting hearing that fact about reading because it's something that I've been trying to get back into personally. I used to love reading for leisure as a kid.
Yeah.
And then if it got kind of lost on me, I think because I spent so much time reading like nonfiction books that I got fatigued.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get back to reading fiction.
And I love that for you. However, me, on the other hand,
Janae doesn't like to read, it sounds like.
I am not a big reader.
Really?
I have tried so hard and I just cannot get into it. I am more of a, let me watch the movie first and then I will read. Like in high school, like The Great Gatsby, for instance, like I watched the movie and then I read the book.
Oh,
so
it's
backwards.
always the other way around usually.
Well, I was required to read the book, but you know, like it's just, I'd rather do it that way.
Okay.
But I love that for you, and I think you should get back into reading.
Well,
I am going to cheer you on along the way. Yes, everyone cheer Taylor on. Go ahead and read, girl. We love that. Awesome. We're going to jump into on entertainment today.
It's in glorious Technicolor.
A trailer was just released previewing the musical drama Kiss of the Spider-Woman, starring Jennifer Lopez.
Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
The movie is adapted from the 1976 novel and 90s Broadway hit of the same name. It tells the story of prisoners who form an unlikely bond, as one of them describes his favorite Hollywood musical.
No matter how hard Hollywood tried to make her seem all-American,
cheers,
she never stopped being Latin.
The movie will be released October 10th. Amanda Knox and Monica Lewinsky posed for pictures on the red carpet at the premiere of the new series, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. Both served as producers.
I had no idea that my dream
Hello? Anybody home?
was about to become a nightmare.
The series was inspired by Knox and her wrongful conviction in the 2007 murder of her roommate in Italy.
A huge reason the series exists is because I felt an immense urgency to try to make the world a little bit kinder to my daughter than it was to me. And telling the story is part of that.
The first 2 episodes are now streaming on Hulu.
We're on Survivor 49!
And the 18 new castaways competing on the 49th edition of the Emmy Award-winning series Survivor were just announced. 2 of the contestants will also be featured on Survivor's 50th season this spring.
40!
But first, Survivor 49 premieres on September 24th on CBS and Paramount+. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Okay, so Taylor said that she would never go on a show like that. So I do have to ask you, what competition show would you, I'm so excited, would you go on if you could? If they came in here right now and said you have to pick one.
Is that the same as like a game show?
No, like a competitive show. So I'm thinking like, let me give you an example. I would say I would never go on something like Fear Factor.
Oh, heck no.
That's like my limit.
And the host used to make me so mad because he'd be like, just eat the bug. Just eat it. I'm like, well, why don't you eat it? I couldn't do it. They would kick me off the show.
You would argue back.
Yes, I would, because I'm like, be quiet. You don't have to eat this bug. You don't have to drink this blood.
It's a roach. Yeah. So I'm not eating it either.
Like, goodbye.
Okay, so what competitive show would you go on? There are so many.
There are a lot. Oh my gosh, that's really hard. I don't know. I know I wouldn't do Survivor.
Yeah,
maybe I would try The Traitors. Maybe.
You know, I've never seen that show. I have never seen that show. I feel like I don't even know what that show's about. You're gonna have to break it down.
You gotta kind of keep. So people are picked as either the traitors or the faithfuls, and then people have to try to figure out who the traitors are.
Okay.
So you basically have to kind of put on a poker face the whole time. And then they do have like competitions where they have to, compete or whatever to kind of try to save themselves. But
okay, I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that. Yeah, anything that has to do with bugs, being on an island by yourself and surviving, I'm not doing it.
Because I don't like bugs. I don't like to sweat. I don't.
Taylor, we're the same person. We're talking about the same thing, girl.
Yes.
Alrighty,
give us a food competition.
Yes. Well,
depending.
Like a hot dog, something.
Oh, not a hot dog eating contest because I don't want to dip it in the water.
Yeah, I know. Okay,
maybe we'll just be in the audience. How about that?
We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Investigators are searching a lake in Smithville after they got a tip about the disappearance of Ryan Weeks. He's been missing since 2022. State troopers confirmed they are searching a pond in H&H Lake. It's just west of Smithville Lake. Police say a dive team searched the water, and community members have been asked to avoid the area and allow investigators to do their job safely. The Independent School District says it's aware of a criminal investigation involving one of its staff members. The employee is on administrative leave. In a statement, a district spokesperson says no evidence links students to the allegations. The district would not confirm whether the employee is a teacher. Jackson County Executive Frank White Jr. says he's not running for re-election unless he changes his mind. He announced his retirement in an email that was sent to his staff. White's term ends after next year, but it remains to be seen if he'll serve all of it. Voters will decide if he keeps his job before that. Excused absentee voting in his recall has already started. Election day is September 30th. The parent company of Facebook and Instagram, Meta, built a data center in the Northland, and it is now up and running. It sits over by I-435 and 169 Highway. 2 out of the 3 data center buildings on site are officially storing data. And once fully operational, will help Meta and small businesses grow. And after decades in the dark, the KCTV5 tower lights are coming back on. It's part of Kansas City's Illuminate KC project for next year's World Cup. We are so excited to turn them back on full time. That's starting September 18th.
Now, your first Warn 5 weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris.
All right, let's get you set the next several days. We have the big changes on the way. They're not quite here yet Thursday. Thursday's a pretty good day. It's not hot, but it's certainly warm. 88 degrees. Let's check out your planner. All right, 67 in the morning. It's a nice morning. 80 by 11, good at lunchtime. It's a little steamy there in the afternoon as we get up to about 88 for a few hours with the northeast wind at 10, but it's nice, pleasant stuff for us there. Now, let's go into Friday and pretty much copy and paste, sunshine. It's going to be a really nice evening. I show you this because, of course, we have the Chiefs, and we were looking at this earlier on the planning calendar, but it doesn't hurt to look at that again as we've got 80s and sunshine. It's going to be good. Then Saturday rolls in. This is where things start to change. The new first warn as of today, cool down, high temperature of 84, but we want you to see what we see, which is that. That's the process of that front coming through, stirring things up, and you can see some scattered rain for your morning plans. Then it's out of here. We get to the afternoon, and it's really going to be nice. Just know you might need a plan B there for the morning. High temperatures, upper 80s, Thursday, Friday, a little bit above normal, then down we go, and we're feeling good. Look at the blue show up, 84 on Saturday. We're in the 70s by Sunday, and on top of that, our nighttime temperatures are just fantastic. Mid-60s, already better than what it has been, where we've seen a lot of mid-70s recently. So our air conditioners can actually function well and cool our houses down better with this. And then we're into the 50s. Sunday morning, Monday morning, we're not far from records. 53 degrees by Monday morning. It felt like 110 just a few days ago. What a change. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing Weather Camp. We live in a truly special place in the world. Like, you just don't see this everywhere. I think we forget that sometimes. All right, blue skies out there. Looks great. Air quality for tomorrow is good. Little to no risk. We're seeing improvements with our air quality. A little bit of rain out to our east by Marshall and Sweet Springs, but that's fading out. Temperatures 89 in KC, 85 in Richmond, and as we go into the evening, we'll tumble back a little bit into the 70s. So again, pleasant for us overnight, and then high temperatures tomorrow will go to 88, and normal high is 87. And here's the bad news that we've got. Oh no, Warren, look at that. The time has come. We're going to miss you, buddy.
Oh, God.
So, by the way, he's not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
He just got promoted, so it's good news. We won't let Warren ever leave. But this show would not be what it is without Warren and his contributions and dedication. Seriously, every day. He's working for hours on this show. Warren is a core component, a backbone of the First Warren Weather Show. We're still going to have you come on from time to time, though, right?
We'll see.
We'll see. No promises. He's like, I've done my duty. I'm out. Seriously, though, Warren, thank you, pal. This has been amazing because of you. You've really helped out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right, guys.
Here. I agree. I mean, been so nice to me ever since I got here. I decided to stay. Why not? So thank you, Warren. Good luck on that. Oh, man. Let's talk about Aaron. I'm going to talk about heading away from our beautiful weather down to what is a very chaotic situation. We're talking about Aaron. Aaron, which strengthened from 100 to 110 miles per hour. It looks like the cloud shield is actually increasing in size also. This is going to miss all land. It's going to stay out over the ocean and be a fish storm. But as we talked about, the waves underneath there are 50 to possibly 100 feet high, and that's going to throw waves and surge towards the coast. And within the surge in the coast, there's going to be those rip currents. And the rip currents are going to be most dangerous from Miami all the way up to Rhode Island. Life-threatening rip currents are likely. Swimming conditions unsafe for all levels. Beaches are closed. Houses could be wiped away because of just the surge coming out of that. And then you could see from Boston all the way up to Maine, we've got a moderate risk. And then finally, as we head up to the end of Maine, we've got a low risk of rip currents. But that's the reach of a hurricane, even though it's not going to make land. And we're lucky it's not. We'll be right back.
Our team of meteorologists. All right, we are going to continue to bring you your news headlines as KU students head back to the classroom. Leaders are trying to make sure that it is a safe experience for everyone. KCTV5's Grace Smith explains.
While talking with students all across the country won't bring their son back, it's Jim and Evelyn Piazza's mission to talk with students about the dangers of hazing, hopefully to save the lives of others.
Have them think in a different perspective. What if this was their own brother or sister?
This flyer was sent out to KU fraternities, sororities, and staff. That young man is Tim Piazza. He died in 2017 after a hazing ritual at Penn State. After being forced to drink, he fell down some stairs and was left alone for hours. He died in the hospital 2 days later. Ever since, his parents, Jim and Evelyn, have traveled around the country, sharing Tim's story, educating students that no hazing is safe and always call for help. They're also encouraging parents to talk with their kids, saying this could happen to anyone.
It could have been any one of their kids. So to think, this can't happen to my kid, it does happen to regular people with regular, nice families. You know, we caught the bullet, Tim caught the bullet, so to speak, but it can happen, and have that conversation.
University officials will also be reminding students about the state's amnesty law. If you call for help, you can't get in trouble. The Piazzas will be taking the stage here tonight at 7. In Lawrence, Grace Smith, KCTV5 News.
Such an important issue to raise awareness on. Again, that was our Grace Smith. Well, as fentanyl continues to be a leading driver of overdose deaths across the country, one local group is shedding light on its dangers. There's a free event this afternoon hosted by the Northland Coalition. It's all about support and awareness. You'll hear powerful stories from someone personally impacted by drug use, along with groups working to help those affected. There will also be info on local resources you can tap into. The event starts at noon, so in about 45 minutes at Beacon Mental Health in their community room.
And just days into the new school year, violence is already making headlines. New FBI data says that assaults inside of schools are rising. And now a fight at a Missouri middle school is making rounds on social media. Patricia Hicks says that her daughter was left with a swollen eye and a scarred forehead after being bullied at Hazelwood Central Middle School just 2 days into the new year. Mom says that her 7th grader transferred districts to escape youth violence, only to face it here.
It was talking about why you in boys' clothes and I'm a girl and stuff, and people were just making fun of me.
Teach our kids better. Like, teach them to learn how to love one another instead of harming one another. Teach them to learn how to accept others. Teach them not to judge others.
Now, new numbers from the FBI, they are just shocking. The Crime in Schools reports show that from 2020 up until 2024, agencies reported more than 1 million incidents occurring, at school locations. The report cites more than 500,000 assaults, which is the most common crime inside of schools. The Hazelwood School District said in a statement that fighting or bullying of any kind is unacceptable and maintaining safety is their top priority.
All right, well, here is a little bit of a lighter note for us today. A famous artist whose work was mostly destroyed during the Spanish Civil War left behind only a handful of surviving pieces, and one of them is hidden in plain sight at nowhere other than UMKC. And this week's We the People, KCTV5's Zach Summers takes us inside Hank Hall, where 80 years later, the artist's murals are being restored.
They are in
I have to say that they are in quite good conditions.
Inside the University of Missouri Kansas City's Haig Hall is a set of murals so rare there are only 2 others in the world.
There are not much murals of Quintanilla.
Iñaki Garate Yamar is one of 2 specialists tasked with restoring the frescoes by legendary Spanish artist Luis Quintanilla.
We cannot paint over the original. We must be very respectful always with the mural painting, with the original. You have to be very respectful.
A political exile of the Spanish Civil War, Quintanilla was UMKC's first artist in residency, arriving in 1940 at the invitation of the school's president.
He had to flee Spain as a refugee after the Civil War. He got married, he had a son, and he needed a way to support his family through his art.
The wall paintings are a retelling of Don Quixote, a Spanish novel about a nobleman who, consumed by stories of chivalry, starts to believe he's an actual knight. Set in then modern-day America, Quintanilla used UMKC students, faculty, and staff as models.
We've gone in, we've learned who they were, and learned their biographies, and some of their stories are, just as amazing as the murals themselves.
His vision was to get the students immersed in these experiences.
Dr. Viviana Grieco with the school's history department says Quintanilla's murals were featured in the press at the time, but attention eventually faded. The frescoes were last restored 30 years ago.
The entire restoration takes 5 weeks.
The restoration team starts with a photographic assessment, including the use of UV lights to detect damage and stains. They then carefully clean the murals using distilled water and Japanese paper before gently painting the gaps.
The cleaning is what takes the longest time.
A tedious process, Garate Yamar says, is well worth the time and effort.
I think that you have a piece of Hispanic history here, and it's amazing, and I think that it's important.